Hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it.
Hey, how you doing, guys? Clever means the party's over. Jeez. I guess basically, you know, thank you so much for coming out. It's been great since the moment I've arrived here. I've done several shows already in terms of Frank Beckman. I'll be doing Mitch albums, and Larry Leach spoke to me and spoke to several of you. I spoke to Terry the other day. So anything you'd like to ask, feel free. It's a very special moment in my life.
I guess the first question, how often do you get to come back to Detroit, and what is your feeling just being here now?
You know, Terry, not very often. Living in Florida, traveling as much as I do. Sometimes I wonder, I mean, at my age, still doing like tomorrow, tonight late, I got to go to New York. I'm doing the games in New York. Getting up at 5 in the morning, leaving at 6 for LA, going to LA to do a commercial shoot. So traveling when I get home, it's such a special moment to be home. So I don't come here very often. I haven't done a whole lot of Michigan and Michigan State games. I've been dying to go. I told Jimmy Leland I'm dying to go see the new Tiger Stadium for a baseball game, because I love baseball. But, you know, you asked me about walking in here today. I walked in here today. And so many memories, because I don't know.
Dick, who is your favorite?
This is probably tough for me. I did not cry a tear. I thought for sure I would at the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame and in the College Hall of Fame. And I don't know what's hit me today. I've been crying up so I just, because I realized when I walked here tonight, I reflected as soon as I came in the building. My first appearance, came here from New Jersey, didn't know anybody in Detroit, never been in Detroit other than a day. I came for the interview, got the job, met with Michael O'Hara and Charlie Vincent and the writers in Bob Calihan's office. I was like a lost soul, really. Didn't know it. Didn't know anyone. And the city was so good to me. Because without the university, without Carrie mentioned me, I had no idea. She mentioned me, Terry Tyler's here tonight. I know he lives in New Mexico, and John Long, and I haven't seen those guys in a while. I'll tell you guys, I'm taking back one is big time. First of all, and Carrie knows this, when she called me, I told her I don't deserve this honor. I honestly don't. I've only coached here 4 years. But as Frank Beckman said, he set a standard. And she made it very clear to me. I'm so sorry for being so emotional. She made it very clear to me that it was based on my career and not on what I just did here as a coach. And I told her that's the case. And she knows, and I said I will go along with it. But I can't tell you, this has hit me more than any award that I've received. I don't know why. I really don't. I know there would be no Dickie V. There'd be no ESPN. There would be no Hall of Fame. There would be the financial rewards I've had in my life. I would have the things that have happened. I've been so blessed. Places I go, people I meet. I mean, just this year alone. And if it wasn't TV, it doesn't happen. Meeting the president, meeting the Pope out in Italy. I mean, all of this is because of what this university did for me. It gave me a key and an opportunity. I'd like to think I took advantage of it, but it was so beautiful. I came here at a tough time. I think I told you on the phone when I came here, people told me it was impossible for you to get people to come out to the arena with all kinds of racial problems in that era. Time magazine cover, Detroit murder capital of the world, working in recruiting players and other schools, sending them copies of the magazine, and to deal with all that. Yet we kept fighting and working. I had an incredible staff. I can't say enough about the loyalty of a David Gaines, how he got me in the city. In fact, people, he's as funny as heck. David and I used to go to all the clubs, and they'd take me into Willie Horton's and Joe Strotter's, and you know, he'd call it, people call it salt and pepper, man. Here comes salt and pepper. In fact, one time we were going to a restaurant, we're walking in, somebody goes, "There's the narcs, man. Those two guys are narc guys." I mean, I've had so many great memories. Mike Brunker, a young 22-year-old guy, worked at St. Cecilia, who I hired. I used to live there. Sam Washington, God bless him up in heaven. His son called me the other day, said he's coming out here today. Sam used to say, "I got a bed here, man." Dickie V used to sleep at St. Cecilia. I didn't. These guys flying all over the country. I would just go to St. Cecilia, shirts and skins. I watch them play. I'm sitting there like in awe. I'm one great player after another. Guys that, you know, who were graduates of college. When you watch, they say Campy Russell and George Gervin, and you watch the skins and you're shaking your head, and all of that was just unbelievable. And when I told him, I'll never forget my first team meeting, and Laval Perry always reminds me of it. Laval was a terrific leader as a person. I knew he'd make it big, and he has in the corporate world. But he always remembers our first team meeting. I walked in, I'll never forget this meeting. I walked in, I looked at the guys sitting there, I said, "Guys, first of all, number one, you take your hats off, you understand? If you don't want to be with us, that's your prerogative. But things are going to change. As of today, I'm telling you now, we're going to be a special program. If you don't want to be part of it, there's the door. Good night, goodbye. I will find 12 kids that want to play in this city, that have in the stands executives from General Motors, Chrysler, Ford. Your goal in life should be when you go to college, I want a better life. What better place to get a better life if you're a local star than getting your name in a headline in the free press and the news?" And I remember that meeting. I remember telling guys, my goal is here, one thing. They tell me we can't get people here. I said, the coach before me did a good job. Jim Hardy was a good coach. He knew basketball, but they weren't drawn. That's why he hired me, to draw and to bring people. I'm going to get people here. I said, fellas, trust me. One day we're going to walk in this gym, and there's going to be a sign, "Sold out." That is my goal, and it was a great feeling to see that happen, and to see people coming out, getting here early, getting excited. But it wasn't easy. It was 24-hour basketball marathons. It was Titan toddlers, little kids. We brought in every Sunday. I had my staff. My staff, their job was on Sunday, put the kids through a clinic. Call them Titan toddlers. If they showed up, elementary school kids, free tickets for our game. Then I would address the kids. All those things led to us getting interest, giving tickets away. And then, obviously, if you give, my feeling was in Detroit, I didn't care. I remember one time, they said you couldn't get people to come back from the summer. I said, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I went to the Olympic, what's it called, what do you read? Olympia Stadium, right? I went there, Frank Sinatra was there. I saw Sinatra there, and I looked at the place was filled, people coming back. You give them a product, people are going to come back. And people came back, because we had a product. It was exciting to see Terry play, and Duron with his jump shot. So sad, I heard he had surgery, I just called it in, he can't make it, but John Long, I mean, we had some good kids, Mark McCormick, Kevin Cassettas, I mean, Wilbur Rosses, all those guys, man, they busted their back. I really felt in my heart, I know this is crazy to say, we were that close to being a national championship team. That close. But I still put her in Emadura. You say, well, how? Well, 1977, we won 21 in a row, and I will never forget my buddy Larry Donald, God bless him up in heaven, from Basketball Times. I remember, I'm in a locker room, around cloud 9, we won our 20th in a row. And he comes over as I'm getting ready to leave the locker to meet with the media. He said, my friend, you better win Wednesday. Because if you don't win Wednesday, you can forget about the NCAA tournament. I said, give me a break. I'll never get to argument with friendly, because I used to love Larry. I said, you're going to be kidding me. We got 20 in a row. You're telling me we got to beat Marquette in Milwaukee to get an NCAA? He said, Dick, they're going to take two major independents. And the two major independents are Notre Dame and Marquette. Now, if you beat them, you create a problem. So I'll never forget what I did with the team. They were nervous, I was nervous, and I was trying to break the tension. I'll never forget this. As we're over at the hotel, I said to them, I said, guys, I am so confident. I said, I'm so confident we're beating them tonight on their floor, Butch Lee and them, that I'm going to dance. I am going to dance at the end of the game, center court, with the cheerleaders, and you guys get in a circle, and I will do a little disco dip. And they start laughing. And we start laughing. I forgot all about that. Then this boy that'll be here tonight hits the jump shot at the buzzer before I could screw something up and call a timeout. I'm getting up as we stole the ball. They were up 1. I remember the play vividly. They were up 1. We had changed defenses. We trapped the basketball, popped it loose. We got the ball with, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. And Dennis flew up top of the key. Bam! He sticks the J. We win by 1. And all the players and cheers come running over to me. I forgot. Time to dance, man. You said you were going to dance. And they're like a fool. ESPN is showing that tonight. They told me they got a video. They are showing that at halftime of me doing a little dance in center court with all the cheerleaders. And then we took so much out of Michigan. I mean, we really did. It was an emotional game. My kids used to always say, I'll never forget this as well. All year long, all I kept hearing from our team, Coach, we're better than Michigan. We got to play Michigan. Why can't we play Michigan? I said, well, not on our schedule, so let's not talk about Michigan. They're number 1 in the country. We can't get them on the schedule. We had beaten them my first year here when they had the great run. They had, I believe, the Wayman Britt, and my place a long time ago now. Campanella Russell, I think, was on that team. And we beat them at our place here, and then I couldn't get them on the schedule. And so finally, when I looked at the pairings, I said, oh my God, what will I tell the team if they get to the Sweet 16? So I remember calling the team together, tell them we're in a tournament. I said, guys, I'll tell you, all I've been hearing you bitch, moan, complain. How much you want to play Michigan? Well, you want to play it? Got a chance. You got a chance, boy. Take a look at here. Well, that game changed my life. I'm going to tell you how the game changed my life. You know, certain things happen. They happen in your career. Surprise senior. Things happen in your career that are really an unbelievable moment. Getting the Detroit job to me, till this day, he had denied it till he died. And I know he helped me. I was in the locker room. I was real good friends with Willis Reed, played for the Knicks. Willis and I ran a basketball game for a little youngster who lost his legs and his arm while I was a high school coach. Willis helped me get all the great players to play in the game in the summer. We gave all the money to the youngster's family. Kid was named Sammy Davis after the entertainer. Got pinned on a railroad track where we lived in New Jersey. Anyway, I said, no, I'm in the Nick locker room. Dave the Busher walks by. Towel around him, going to the shower. I always admired his toughness and he's a coach's dream. Play hard, never have to worry about motivating him. So I said, Willis, I'd love to meet David the Busher. He said, no problem. He said, David, come over here. I'll never forget, David comes walking over, his house, towel around him, shake hands like this. He said, Dick Vitale, and he said, smart, what do you do? I said, well, I'm looking for a job right now. I said, our head coach resigned at Rutgers, and he says, just like this, he goes, why'd you play at my school, man? They're looking for a coach. So Willis Reed says to him, and I'll never forget, Willis says, hey, Dave, why don't you call for him? He's a real good guy, man. He's great with kids. He goes, all that stuff. I forget about that. I mean, that's small talk. He goes, takes a shower. I go home. About a week later, the phone rings. This is not a true story. God bless me on my children. Phone call rings. Hey, Dick, this is Bob Calihan, University of Detroit. You've been highly recommended. We want you to fly out tomorrow for an interview. We'd like to talk to you. I thought it was a joke. My wife is here. She can tell you this. Lorraine, where are you, hon? Where's my wife? Come over here. Come here. My wife can tell you this. We always talk about this. I'm going to tell what I did. I thought it was one of my buddies playing games with me because I told guys I'm going to take the bush. And I called back Bob Calihan. God strike me dead. I called the university. I said, I got a secretary and something. Mr. Calihan, this is Dick Vitale. I said, I got a call from you. He said, yeah, I called you. I said, oh, no, I wanted to make sure it was legit, because when he called me, he told me, you pay your own flight out there, and we'll reimburse you when you get here. So I'm saying, maybe my buddies are screwing around. And so I came here, did the interview, Steve Wall and his people. I come into Detroit, another unbelievable moment. I get out of a taxi, never been here. I open up the free press, and there's an article, headlines. Tom Villamure to be named coach at the University of Detroit tomorrow. You look the archives, you'll see that article. I looked at that and I said to myself, what am I doing here? What? So when I went to that meeting, and Denny Flynn is sitting in the back, great alumnus, and Howie and all the people that were at that meeting were at a table, I said, hey guys, why am I wasting my time and you wasting your time? I just read the paper. I said, you guys already have your coach. I said, well, let me tell you, since I'm here, it's true. I said, I'm going to tell you in the next 30 minutes why somebody's going to give me a chance. And when they give me a chance, I'm not going to let them down. I said, all my life, nothing's come easy for me. Got a great home life, mother and father, uneducated, 5th grade, factory workers taught me this world. If you aspire and bust your gut, beautiful things are going to happen. And all of a sudden, Ken Elliott was on that committee, and Steve Wall says to me, who's the dean here, and he says, what would it take for us to hire you as coach? If we wanted to hire you right now. I said, well, I'm a dummy. I said, I'm making $11,000 right now at Rutgers as assistant coach. Give me 15 and I'm coming, man. They said, they looked at me like I was dumb. Well, I got home that night, and I felt so positive in the interview. The phone rang that night when I got home back, and they said, we want to hire you. But in that game, my life changed totally when we lost to Michigan. The reason it changed, the day before the game, I walk into our shoot-around at Lexington, Rupp Arena, and I look, and I cannot believe what I'm seeing. They're sitting there, it's John Wooden, the place is empty, sitting there, Adolph Rupp, sitting there, Kurt Gowdy. And if you're a baseball fanatic, I'm a baseball fanatic. Kurt Gowdy. A guy comes up to me, he says, Dick, my name is Scotty Connell. I'm the head of NBC. We're doing your game in the Midwest. Kurt Gowdy's going to be the play-by-play, and John Wooden's going to do the color. I called my team together, and I gave them a talk about greatness and about what those people represented. And then I had them take pictures. Coach Wooden and Kurt Gowdy. I got fired by the Pistons, November 8th, 1979. Bo Davis, who works in my house, didn't realize at the time it was the best thing that ever happened in my life. At the time I didn't think so. I wasn't cut out. I made a major mistake. I did something which was, anti what my buddy Jimmy V used to always say. Jimmy V used to always say, you never ever mess with happiness. And I remember him on the phone saying, are you happy in college, man? I said, yeah, I'm very happy. I said, Dick, don't mess with happiness, man. The money was so different, and the ego of being a pro coach, and Bob Lanier and I were such good friends because we ran a camp together for years prior to me becoming a coach. I know Bob was in my corner, so I felt, oh man, Joe Falls and Jerry Green were writing columns after columns, how my spirit belonged there. Then they start writing, once I got there, I belonged in college, I should be fired. I mean, it's unbelievable. And they were right. They were right. I didn't belong. My spirit, my enthusiasm belonged with college kids. And I get fired. About a week after I get fired, the phone rings. Dick, you don't remember me. I said, well, my name is Scotty Connell. I just been named the head of a brand new network. He said, ESPN. He said, I'm in charge of all hiring, remotes, production, all this thing goes on and on. So I want you to do our very first game. DePaul, Wisconsin. I wrote your name down. I heard you speak to your team. And I wrote your name down. I said, God, I think that guy would be pretty good at this. And I said right away, no, I'm not interested. I said, I know nothing about television. I still don't know nothing about television. That's why I have so much fun. I violate all the rules of TV. But the bottom line is about, I'm fortunate, God was lucky, but I said I'm not interested. My wife kept saying, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Sitting home, depressed, I'm down. My life was on such a fast track. I used to hear about when I give speeches, a boy a dream. I mean, I'm teaching the 6th grade in 1970, coaching in high school. We got state championships back to back, and in 77, I'm in the NBA. in 7 years, from assistant coach to college coach to AD and college coach, coaching the pros, and then all of a sudden, bam! And you know what you find out then? You find out very simply. You find out my wife has a great line. She says, a lot of associates, man. A lot of people who are associates, but they're not friends. Friends are your family and your intimate close. You don't get calls back. People you thought were close, and you're sitting there like living lonely, other than your family. And your family's at your side. But changed my life. ESPN, Scotty used to always tell me my first year or two, he said, Dick, don't go back to coaching. You have a career in this. He said, you got 3 things. He used to always say to me all the time, God bless, I wish he was here today. He said, 3 things that we can't teach. You're candid, you're enthusiastic, and you're passionate for the game, and you know the game. He said, you're passionate. He said, plus you connect. And I didn't know what he used to always say, connect, connect. My first Final Four I went to was in 1983. I go to the Final Four the year Jimmy V cut the nets down. I walk into my Final Four, and I got people coming up with pictures, autographs, and Scotty says, you connect with the name. It's a lot of announcers, Dick, it's a special gift. Whether they agree with you or disagree with you, when you say something, they're going to the callers, and they're saying, did you hear what he said? I don't agree. I didn't know what that meant until I started going to arenas and arenas. And changed my life, because I really firmly believe had I stayed in coaching, I would have never made it past 50. I couldn't handle losing. I had such envy for Chuck Daly. Chuck Daly, when he coached, he could handle that loss. I could never. My wife would tell you, tear me to shreds. So I've had a better life. You heard my story.
I think we wanted to get a photo op with Coach Vitale.
Hey, right. Oh, man.
I love it.
This guy's had it tough. Man. He loses Eli, loses that other guard, the forward, the rebounder, and you're fighting and scrapping, and got his son, but really, let's look at you, man.
Okay,
Really.
all right.
You guys can get it? Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, when you're on a level like the University of Detroit, same when I was coaching here, we were blessed that we had no major injuries to people like John or Terry. But you lose a key player, a lot of the big-time schools can make up for that. It's very difficult to make up for that when you're a guy, you know, in that mid-major category. But it's tough, and I really respect that he's a class guy. Perry Watson was a hell of a coach here as well. Perry was terrific. And my guy Gaines came in and recruited like crazy as well. And to have my name on that court, I can't tell you enough how much I had to stress with Kerry. That just couldn't be in my record. There's no way, no way. And I could respect those that disagree about it being there for me, but I also know there are a lot of people that feel it should be, because I've gotten a lot of phone calls and letters and mentions. So, any other questions?
If we don't have time for more questions.
I want you to get my team fired up.
Thank you everyone for coming. We honestly think we don't.